My husband took me on a surprise romantic getaway. The hotel manager smiled and said, "Welcome back, sir." "The usual suite?" Confused, I asked, "You've been here before?" My husband's face went pale. That night, I found a hidden box under the bed with a dozen love letters. My heart pounded as I read the last one. It was dated the night before our wedding. I never imagined I'd be sharing something so personal here, but I need to get this off my chest. My husband, Daniel, and I have been together for 5 years. Life had become a routine of work, chores, and the occasional date night. So, when Daniel surprised me with a weekend getaway to Charleston, South Carolina, I was thrilled. It felt like the spark we needed. We packed our bags and set off early Saturday morning. The drive was pleasant, filled with light conversations and our favorite playlists. Charleston had always been on my list of places to visit: the historic charm, the cobblestone streets, the rich culture. Daniel mentioned he'd handle all the arrangements, which was a relief. He said he wanted to make it special. As we approached the city, I couldn't contain my excitement. The architecture, the vibrant atmosphere, it was all so captivating. We pulled up to the Charleston Place, a renowned hotel in the heart of the historic district. The building exuded elegance, with its grand entrance and classic Southern charm. A doorman greeted us warmly, assisting with our luggage. As we stepped into the lobby, I was taken aback by the opulence: the sweeping staircase, the sparkling chandeliers, the polished marble floors. It felt like stepping into a different era. As we approached the front desk, the hotel manager, an older gentleman with a warm smile, looked up and immediately recognized Daniel. "Welcome back, Mr. Thompson," he said cheerfully. "The usual suite?" I turned to Daniel, surprised. "You've been here before?" Daniel's face went pale. He hesitated before responding, yes. "For business trips." I didn't think it was important. Something felt off. Daniel had never mentioned traveling to Charleston for work. But I brushed it aside, not wanting to ruin the weekend he had planned. We were escorted to our suite on the 8th floor. The room was breathtaking, spacious with a separate living area, adorned with classic furnishings. Large windows offered a stunning view of the city. A bottle of champagne and a plate of chocolate-covered strawberries awaited us on the coffee table. After settling in, Daniel suggested we explore the city. We wandered through the historic streets, visited art galleries, and enjoyed a late lunch at a charming cafe. Despite the beauty surrounding us, I couldn't shake the nagging feeling from earlier. Why hadn't Daniel mentioned his previous visits? That evening, we returned to the hotel. Daniel seemed restless, checking his phone more than usual. I decided to take a relaxing bath. The bathroom was luxurious, featuring an Italian marble design and a deep soaking tub. After my bath, I changed into a robe and found Daniel sitting on the edge of the bed, lost in thought. Trying to lighten the mood, I suggested ordering room service and watching a movie. He agreed, though he seemed distant. As Daniel stepped into the bathroom to shower, I began unpacking our bags. While placing our clothes in the closet, I noticed a small, ornate box tucked away under the bed. It seemed out of place. Curiosity got the better of me, and I pulled it out. The box was intricately designed, with delicate carvings on its surface. I opened it to find a stack of letters, each carefully folded and tied together with a ribbon. My heart began to race as I unfolded the first one. The handwriting was elegant, unmistakably feminine. The words spoke of deep affection, of stolen moments and passionate encounters. My hands trembled as I read through them. Each letter was signed with the initial L. The dates on the letters spanned several months, all leading up to a final letter dated just one day before our wedding. The words in that letter hit me like a punch to the gut: "I can't wait until you're finally mine. Tomorrow marks the beginning of our forever." Tears blurred my vision. My mind raced with questions. Who was Al? How long had this been going on? Had Daniel been unfaithful right before our wedding? I heard the water stop in the bathroom. Panic set in. I hastily placed the letters back in the box and shoved it under the bed. I wiped my tears, trying to compose myself. Daniel emerged from the bathroom, a towel wrapped around his waist. He noticed my distressed state immediately. "Sarah, what's wrong?" he asked, concern etched on his face. I couldn't hold it in any longer. "I found the letters, Daniel. Under the bed." "Who is Elle?" His face drained of color. He sat down heavily on the bed, running a hand through his damp hair. "Sarah, I can explain," he stammered. "Please do," I said, my voice shaking. "Because right now, I feel like I don't know you at all." He took a deep breath. "Before our wedding, I had an affair. It was a mistake, a terrible, regrettable mistake. I ended it before we got married. I thought I had destroyed all the letters. I have no idea how they ended up here. I felt like the ground had been ripped from beneath me. The man I had trusted, the man I had vowed to spend my life with, had betrayed me. Why didn't you tell me?" I whispered. "I was ashamed," he admitted. "I didn't want to lose you. I thought if I buried it, if I pretended it never happened, we could move on." I stood up, needing distance. "I need some air." "Sarah, please," Daniel pleaded. "Let's talk about this." "I can't," I said, grabbing my coat. I need to think." I left the room, my mind a whirlwind of emotions. I wandered the streets of Charleston, the city's charm lost on me. I replayed our relationship in my mind, searching for signs I might have missed. Eventually, I found myself at Waterfront Park. The gentle lapping of the waves against the pier provided a small measure of solace. I sat on a bench, staring out at the water, trying to process everything. After what felt like hours, I made my way back to the hotel. Daniel was pacing the room when I entered. He rushed to me, relief evident in his eyes. "Sarah, I'm so sorry," he began. I held up a hand. "I need time, Daniel. Time to process this, to decide if I can forgive you." He nodded, tears brimming in his eyes. "I'll do whatever it takes to make this right." I turned away, the weight of his betrayal pressing down on me. I didn't know what the future held for us, but I knew one thing: things would never be the same. The next morning, I woke up early. The light was just starting to spill through the curtains. Daniel was still asleep on the couch. I didn't want to be in the same room as him. My body felt heavy, my head throbbing with everything I had discovered the night before. I quietly got dressed and left the hotel without saying a word. I walked through the quiet streets of Charleston, trying to clear my mind. I ended up at a small bakery on King Street. I ordered coffee and sat by the window, staring at people passing by, wondering how many of them were living with secrets too. Halfway through my coffee, I pulled out my phone and opened the hotel's website. Something had been nagging at me since yesterday. I searched the usual suite, the one Daniel apparently always stayed in. There it was, Suite 820. Booked. By him. 5 times in the last 2 years. The reservation history was visible because it was tied to his rewards account, which I had access to through our shared travel profile. 5 times. Not for work. He didn't travel for work. I knew his schedule. He worked locally, rarely even did day trips, and definitely didn't do overnights. I stared at the screen in disbelief. My chest tightened. Then I saw something else. One of the past reservations had a note attached: special arrangement for Ms. Lila Hart. Extra champagne and rose petals. I froze. Lila Hart. That had to be her. The woman from the letters. I clicked on her name. My hands were shaking. I copied it into Facebook. And there she was, public profile. Blonde. Soft smile. Pretty in that classic Southern way. But what really hit me were the photos. One picture, dated 2 years ago, taken inside the suite. The same damn suite I was staying in now. She was lying on the bed, a champagne flute in hand, roses all over the sheets. Daniel was in the background, shirtless, laughing. I felt like I was going to throw up. That night under the bed wasn't just some forgotten box. It was a shrine. A keepsake of something he never truly let go of. And now, there I was, living in her shadow, sleeping in her memories. I returned to the hotel in a daze. Daniel was up, pacing again. "Where did you go?" he asked, rushing toward me. "I went to find the truth," I said, holding up my phone. "Lila Hart. Ring a bell?" He blinked, stunned. "Sarah, I saw the photos, Daniel. In this suite. With her. While we were married." He didn't say anything. His silence said everything. "You told me it was before our wedding. That it ended. But she was here with you while I was home making dinner and folding your laundry." "I swear it ended," he said, his voice cracking. "I messed up. I kept going back to her. I didn't know how to stop. She made me feel alive. But it never meant I didn't love you." I laughed, bitter. "You cheated and lied for years, and you want me to believe that love was part of this?" He sat down, head in hands. "I didn't expect you to find out. I was trying to fix things, to bury it." "Burying isn't fixing, Daniel. Burying is hiding." We sat in silence for a long time. I finally stood up. "I need to talk to her." He looked up sharply. "What?" "I need to talk to Lila. I deserve answers too. And she needs to know I exist." "Sarah, no. That's not a good idea." I ignored him. I left the hotel again, this time heading to the local gallery listed on her Facebook page. Lila worked there. I didn't know what I was planning to say, but I couldn't just sit in that room anymore, haunted by things that weren't mine. When I arrived, the gallery was quiet, filled with soft light and modern paintings. "And there she was," you said. "Add more story twist, but still keep the details consistent," ChatGPT said. She was standing near the back, adjusting a painting on the wall. Up close, she looked even more like the woman from the photo, elegant, effortless, like she belonged in a lifestyle magazine. When she turned and saw me, she gave a polite smile, clearly thinking I was just another customer. "Hi, can I help you?" she asked, voice calm. I stared at her for a moment, unsure how to begin. "Lila Hart?" She paused, her expression flickering for a second. "Yes. Do I know you?" "I'm Sarah. Daniel's wife." Her face changed instantly, like she had been slapped. She opened her mouth, then closed it again. "Wife," she repeated, slowly. "He said you were his ex." My blood went cold. "What?" Lila took a step back, one hand on her stomach. "He told me you two had split up. That the divorce had been finalized a year ago. He said he was taking time before going public because of your family." My knees almost gave out. "No. We're still married. Very much married. That trip he's on with me right now? That's our 5th anniversary surprise." Her mouth dropped open. "Oh my God," I sat down on the nearest bench, my hands trembling. "How long were you two seeing each other?" She swallowed hard. "About 3 years, off and on. He always disappeared for a while, but then he'd come back. He said he was figuring things out." "I thought," she trailed off. "I thought I was the other woman at first. Then he said you were out of the picture. So when he stopped calling? I thought maybe he finally moved on, or maybe you two worked things out. I didn't know he was still lying." We sat in silence, the gallery now feeling colder, sharper. And then she said something that made my stomach flip. "There's more," she said quietly. "About 6 months ago, I found out I was pregnant." My eyes widened. I could barely speak. "Pregnant?" I didn't tell him. I was planning to, but I had a miscarriage. The room spun. My heart ached in a way I couldn't describe. Another life that could have existed. A child I never knew about. I'm sorry, I said quietly, unsure of why I was comforting her. Maybe because she was as lied to as I was. She wiped a tear from her cheek. Thank you. I didn't know. I stood up. I need to go. She nodded, stunned. If there's anything you want, or need. I just want to understand how someone can lie to two women for years and walk around like he's done nothing wrong. When I returned to the hotel, Daniel was gone. Not just from the suite, gone. His suitcase was missing. His phone, wallet. I called, it rang twice, then went straight to voicemail. I checked with the front desk. He had checked out 30 minutes earlier. No note. No goodbye. Just, gone. I stared at the empty suite, the silence pressing against my chest. I had thought I was coming here for a romantic weekend. Instead, I had walked into the graveyard of his secrets. And he had vanished. But I wasn't going to let it end like that. I wasn't going to let him disappear after everything. So I started looking. Through emails. Through credit card logs. Through hotel records. And I found something. A new charge. Just yesterday. From a jewelry store. In Charleston. A ring. He bought a ring. But not for me. The jewelry store wasn't far from the hotel. Just a short walk through the narrow streets near the market district. My mind raced with possibilities, none of them good. When I arrived, I didn't go in at first. I just stood across the street, watching. Then I saw him. Daniel. Inside the store. Smiling. Standing next to him was a woman I didn't recognize. Late 20s, maybe. Dressed casually, holding his arm like it was the most natural thing in the world. She leaned in and kissed his cheek. My stomach twisted. I didn't even think. I crossed the street, pulled open the door, and walked in. The little bell chimed. Daniel turned. And he froze. His face drained of color, just like it had in the hotel lobby. But this time, he couldn't hide. The woman beside him looked confused. Who's she? I stepped forward. My voice was calm, but sharp. His wife. Her head snapped toward him. What? I didn't wait for him to lie. I turned to her. Hi. I'm Sarah. We've been married for 5 years. This weekend was supposed to be our anniversary. He brought me to the same hotel suite he's taken at least one other woman to. Lila, you might know her. She stepped away from Daniel like he had burned her. Are you serious right now? He opened his mouth to speak, but no words came out. The entire store had gone silent. Even the saleswoman behind the counter was frozen, watching it all unfold. I pulled out my phone. Opened the gallery. Showed the woman the photo of Lila in the hotel room. She thought he was divorced. He told her I was his ex. Turns out, we were all part of the same disgusting little timeline. Daniel finally spoke. It's not what you think. Save it, I snapped. You lied to me. You lied to her. You lied to Lila. How many more are there? You can't even keep track anymore, can you? The woman, whoever she was, turned and slapped him. Hard. The sound echoed through the shop. You told me you were a widower, she hissed. You said your wife died in a car accident. Gasps rippled across the room. I stepped back, stunned. He told you I was dead? She nodded, eyes filled with disbelief. I work in Savannah. We met a few months ago. I had no idea. Daniel looked like a man who'd been exposed to the light for the first time in years. Pale. Shaking. Silent. I turned to the saleswoman, who looked horrified. Cancel the ring. He's not marrying anyone. Then I walked out. I didn't look back. I didn't need to. Back at the hotel, I sat on the edge of the bed, numb. Everything I thought I knew had collapsed in one long, painful day. I called Lila. I told her what happened at the jewelry store. She cried. Said she wasn't surprised, just hurt all over again. Then she asked something I didn't expect. Do you want to meet up? Not now, later. Maybe talk? It might help both of us. I said yes. Not because I wanted to be friends, but because she was the only other person who really got it. That night, Daniel called. I let it ring. Then I blocked him. A week later, I filed for divorce. Friends reacted in all kinds of ways. Some said they never trusted him. Some were shocked. One of my coworkers cried with me during lunch. My mom flew in from North Carolina and stayed 3 days, just to hold me when I broke down. The pain didn't go away overnight. I still wake up some mornings and expect to hear his keys in the door. But the silence that follows is now a strange kind of peace. Sometimes I wonder how long he would have kept lying if that hotel manager hadn't said those words. Welcome back. The usual suite. Maybe I was meant to hear them. It's been 3 months. I signed the papers. Sold my wedding ring. Moved into a small apartment in a new neighborhood with cheaper rent and better light. Lila and I met for coffee once. We didn't talk about him much. We mostly talked about ourselves. Our dreams. Our healing. I still don't have all the answers. I still don't know how someone can lie so easily, or live a double, maybe triple, life like it's normal. But I've learned something. Betrayal doesn't mean I'm weak. It means I trusted someone who didn't deserve it. And that's on them. Not me. I don't know what's next. But I know what's over. And sometimes, that's enough.